Time now for the morning rush. There is a bit of good news for people affected by the Hermit's Peak Calf Canyon fire. Help from the federal government is on the way. Now, President Biden has approved the state's request for a disaster declaration. That declaration means that evacuees will get help in the near term. That's to pay for housing and to replace lost income.
Hundreds of firefighters are continuing to battle the inferno outside of Las Vegas. Scooper planes continue to drop water in the hopes of slowing the spread of the blaze. They're also burning dry grass and brush along Highway 283. The Hermit's Peak Calf Canyon fire has now charred more than 160,000 acres. It's only 20% contained.
Meanwhile, the Cerro Pelado fire burning in the Jemez is now up to nearly 27,000 acres in size and is only 13% contained. Well, that has now gotten about 5 miles from Los Alamos National Lab. Officials say that the good news here is that the fire is behaving more like a prescribed burn. In other words, burning in the underbrush rather than the tree canopy. Erica.
And here's a look at our school day forecast. Temperatures are cool this morning at 47 degrees, so wear your layers. By this afternoon, we'll be warm with a light breeze and sunny.
Those who've been evacuated are now staying in hotels, wondering if they'll have anything to go home to. State Representative Roger Montoya is trying to help fundraise to help get evacuees a more stable, safe place to stay. If you'd like to help the evacuees, you can donate to All Together New Mexico Fund.
This morning, there is now a streamlined source for fire information. It's all thanks to a collaboration between the feds and state agencies. Well, the Department of Homeland Security has launched a joint information task force page on Facebook. The page will consolidate information and alerts on closures, evacuations, relief resources, and more.
Day 2 in the murder trial for the teen accused of murdering a rising Santa Fe basketball star is set to begin in just hours. Esteban Montoya is accused of gunning down J.B. White near Santa Fe 2 years ago. The defense claims Montoya was running away from White when he fired the gun and shot in White's direction, not knowing that he would strike him. Erica.
And here's a look at the threat index. It is much lower today. We will see some higher breezes across eastern New Mexico and lower fire danger.
An Albuquerque man is heading to federal prison. That's for a 2019 carjacking and robbery attempt. Lante Porcha pleaded guilty for his role in a 2019 carjacking and attempted robbery. Porcha has not been sentenced yet, but under his plea agreement, he faces more than 15 years in federal prison. A
Las Cruces father is facing 3 years in prison after shaking to death his 7-week-old daughter. Marcus Minnick and Carissa Ceballos were both found responsible for the death of the baby Maddie, in 2019. He pleaded no contest to reckless child abuse and was sentenced yesterday. Ceballos was sentenced to 12 years last year.
Starting next month, the evening tours are back at the Biopark and the Botanic Garden. Night walks at the Botanic Garden start on June 7th. The twilight tours at the zoo start on June 14th, and it's going to highlight some of the unique nocturnal behaviors of the zoo's animals. Adult tickets are $15 and kids and seniors are $10. Erica.
All right, let's get a look at the morning drive. Our maps are looking clear this morning. No accidents or slowdowns. And tracker is east on I-40 near 6th Street, where everything is still moving along. Maybe seeing some slowdowns starting up.
Crosstown Rivals fans are coming together to create a giant beer snake. And this was during Tuesday's Chicago Cubs versus Chicago White Sox game. Fans teamed up to create a giant beer snake that seemed to go on forever. No word on the total length that they were able to reach.
Time now for the 5 facts.
At number 5, a mouth-watering exhibit is coming to Albuquerque this summer. Chocolate. The exhibition opens June 17th at the New Mexico Natural History and Science Museum. The traveling exhibit explores the origins of chocolate and its impact on history around the world. During the exhibit's 9-month run, there will also be hands-on workshops, family days, demonstrations, and chocolatiers will also be selling their goods and more.
At number 4, in just a couple of weeks, construction crews will finally break ground on the long-awaited project in the Winrock Town Center. Now, planning to redevelop the old Winrock Mall into that town center has been 15 years in the making. Finally, on May 18th, construction will begin. That will include an open-air shopping district with a hotel, an IMAX movie theater, a park, and even a lake. There will also be apartments and offices.
And at number 3, it is going to be a quieter day. Those winds will come in from the northwest at up to 25 miles per hour this afternoon.
And number 2, more than 15,000 homes have been evacuated in the Hermit's Peak Calf Canyon fire. Many are staying in hotels and wondering if they'll even have anything left to go home to. State Representative Roger Montoya is now trying to help fundraise to get evacuees a more safe and stable place to stay. He was able to help some families with accommodations at the Cities of Gold Casino in Evacuee. That's where the Santa Fe Food Bank also brought food for evacuees. Now, if you would like to help, you can donate to the All Together New Mexico Fund, We have a link at alwaysonkRQE.com.
Finally, number one for you this hour. Help from the federal government is on the way for those impacted by the fast-growing Hermit's Peak Calf Canyon fire. That could mean hundreds of millions of dollars in federal aid. The merge blaze has destroyed more than 160,000 acres in size, claiming homes along the way. It makes it now the second largest fire in the state's history. Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham announcing last night that President Biden is approving the state's request for a disaster declaration, which means that evacuees will get help in the near term to pay for housing and to replace their lost income.